Here are the tests on my 2002 Kohler Gabrielle. It is set to the water line on the original flush valve, and it is using an original kind of flapper. So let's give this a flush and see how it does on tests. The flush is a little bit sluggish. I really don't think this would do well on normal use, to be completely honest. It's just too weak. For the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. Despite it being weak, I think that this will be a pretty easy pass. It did perfectly, as expected. Do keep in mind that this toilet had quite a bit of mineral buildup, but I was able to get, I think, all of it out. It had some in the siphon jet and a lot in the trapway, but all I had to do was stick a screwdriver up there and it all just kind of fell out. And I don't know if you guys think you know satisfaction or not, but if you haven't removed minerals from a toilet with a glazed trapway, you don't know satisfaction yet, because that is so satisfying. But anyway, let's now see if it can take a grocery bag. Got to add a little bit of water here. Honestly, if it clogs, it'll clog at the bottom, but I think it'll pass. It most certainly would have taken that if it had more water. I think that it failed simply due to it being water starved. So I'm going to give it another full flush and see if it can get it the rest of the way through. I kind of think it would pass if I gave it more flushes. I might as well, so I guess I'll wait for that to fill up and I'll be right back. It's kind of draining too fast for the tank to refill. Yeah, it's clogged. I would definitely say that failed. Now, let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. Honestly, I think it'll get past the opening. It'll look like it's going to pass, and then it will hard clog at the very end. I've seen other Ingenium models do just exactly that. But of course, this is a lesser Ingenium model because it's a weak one piece, so it didn't get as far. But I'm betting, again, with more water that it probably would. So I'm going to give this another flush on a full tank and see if it can take it the rest of the way. Nope. It's going to be very hard to get out. You know, it's moving so slowly that I'm not even going to try that, because if it's clogged in the opening, there's no way it can get past the outlet. That half worked, I guess. Really? Come on. So, yeah, that really didn't do too well at all. I'm guessing that it won't do well on the dish towel either, but it's another one of my tests, and it's worth a shot. So I'm going to add some more water to the bowl, and I'm going to pull out my dish towel and see if I can make it pass. There's really no way that it will take this, but again, it's another one of my tests, so I might as well try it. The tank's almost full, so let's give it a flush. That did rather poorly. Same story with the washcloth and grocery bag. If it does make it past the opening, I'm probably going to have to pull the toilet off and shove it back through the way it came in. So to save myself the time and effort in January, which is quite cold right now, I'm just going to pull it out. So the performance on this toilet really isn't anything that good. I've seen a lot of toilets that can do better. I've seen some that can do worse. But now let's move on to the flush tests. But first, gotta up the brightness a little bit. For the first of the flush tests, let's see how it flushes with a clogged siphon jet. To be honest, I think it won't siphon, but it will siphon if I overfill the tank. But you know what? It might actually siphon because Ingeniums have been known to do that. Barely. It still siphoned, which is really cool, but it just barely siphoned. So now I'm going to overfill the tank, and I'm going to try that test again. I think it'll siphon this time, and maybe even double flush. That was almost better than double flushing. It did one awesome single flush. Now, let's see if it can take dirt. First, I'll do ash for the bowl rinse, and then I'll do actual dirt for the bowl clearance. It'll be a lot easier once the ground dries out. So let's give this a flush and see how it does. The bowl clearance could be better. I've definitely seen a lot worse than this. It's honestly not terrible. The rinse looks to be pretty bad, except that a lot of this stuff actually was rinsed off. And if you look, you can see it's all grimy back here, but when I flush it, it most likely won't go away. You can see water going over all of this stuff, but it just won't come off. That's one annoying thing about ash, and why I usually don't use it for these tests. For some reason, it just has that issue. So anyway, I would say otherwise the flush is very, very good. The bowl rinse is solid, but it could use a slightly longer flush. So when I restore this toilet, I will be setting it to the very top of that flush valve because I cannot replace it with a taller one. So anyway, that is all I have for you now. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.